After having looked at how to calculate adjusted stock price, let us now see how to plot P-band chart. Again, we are working on TCS data, and we have taken this adjusted close prices in the final data that we will refer to. Okay, so this is the TCS data, and I have also given some instructions over here. Okay, initial first few instructions we have already deployed. Okay, so what does it say? Identify where the bonus has happened, get the stock price adjusted. Okay, now we want to go ahead and actually use the weekday function and other aspects to actually plot the P band chart. Okay, now first of all, we have got all daily data. Okay, so if we have got all daily data, why is the need for we going for weekly data? Because the need is that daily data becomes too much to handle. Okay, and doesn't give you very clear charts. Okay, so we go for weekly data. Okay, and for going for weekly data, we use the function weekday. Okay, there could be other logics as well, but this is one logic which I have found very easy to. Yes. Okay, so now how does the weekday function work? Okay, so let us look at how does the weekday function work. Okay, let us say today's date is 14th May. Okay, and we say weekday, so it will ask me the date which you want to refer to, and return type will give, let us say if we give 1, it will return based on 1 being Sunday. So what should be today's outcome?
Today is 3rd.
So it will be 3. Yes, so 3 is the outcome. Right, so because it is Tuesday. And we began 1 is indicator for Sunday. Okay, and that is what we will broadly use. Okay, now here we say weekday, serial number, and return type is 1. Okay, and we simply double click this. Now we need to identify one price per week. Okay, and the logic that we are going to use is simple. Okay, if you observe the data points, the data goes from lower number to higher number and it drops. 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 Okay, this is the thing that we are going to use to identify change of week. So we begin with if this number is less than the earlier number. Okay, then display as Y flag, or else display nothing. Simple. Like that will give us when the week change happened. Okay, and then we hit enter. Okay, then we just simply double click over here. Okay, and you will see all Y flags. Okay, there are other logics, but many of times I have seen the other logics don't work for getting the week changes, because there are occasions when Saturday also is a trading day because of what we call Muhurat trading that happens on Diwali, to capture everything and anything. Okay, this is the logic we have used. Okay, now simple, what is the next step? You will use filter once again. Yes. Okay, you need to ensure that filter comes at the right place. It's not coming at the right place, so if it is not coming at the right place, you should select the data points like actual selection and then go for the filter. Okay, so there are a lot of things which are not normally known in Excel. Okay, so you have to just work out some way around it. Okay, so this is the filtered data. So we'll select this data, we'll say copy. Okay, and then we'll go to the adjacent sheet and we'll just paste it over here, and you will see data is weekly data. Right, so we have already got the weekly data. Okay, next set of instructions have already been written here. Okay, we create weekly index. Okay, then why we create weekly index predominantly is that we want to have forward EPS. Now the chart or the P band chart that we are going to plot is based on 1 year forward weekly EPS. So if it is 1 year forward weekly EPS, we require future data points. Okay, so let us say on 30th August 2004 we are in the financial year. Which financial we are into?
That is 2004 financial year.
No, it is financial year 5. 2004 financial year will end on 31st March 2004. Because we are referring to Indian context, right? So we are in 2005. So when we are saying we are in 5, we will require EPS which is in between 5 and 6. Okay, because we are in between 4 and 5. So we will require something into 5 and 6, between 5 and 6. So how do we say exactly where we are between 5 and 6? That's why what we do is we give index to weeks. Okay, all of us know that there are 52 weeks in every year except for leap year. Okay, even in leap years in some of the cases only it will be 53 weeks, otherwise it will be 52 weeks only. Okay, just one day increases, So that way, when you are talking of weekly data, it is not always that you will get 53 weeks. Okay, but mostly it is 52 weeks.
52.
Okay, so what we do is we start giving indices to the available data. Okay, so how do you give index? Okay, so we go to the last week. We go to the last week of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, when you go to last week of the year and begin with giving it a index of 52.
52.
Okay, and then we simply say 52 minus 1,
Yeah.
copy it and just
Paste.
paste it above. Okay, so we are beginning with the index of 22. And how we will go ahead? We will just begin with 1. We say equal to 1 plus 1, and we will just drag it
For the
to
next
the
year.
end of the like next year, or you can say the current financial year we are referring to. Okay, and we'll say control D. Okay, and again begin with 1 and say plus 1 and go down till we hit the bottom of the pile, right? Again 1 equal to, okay, this may be a little longer process,
Yeah.
but that is the process, right? You need to still complete that. Okay, there could be some shortcuts of doing it which you may understand after your master of using Excel. Okay, so this is 53,
Yes.
right? Can you see that in 2008 the number of weeks are 53?
That is leap year.
A leap year, most probably because of that. In other years you will not find this happening. Okay, again beginning with 1. Yes, so on till you have the recent data. Okay, it is advisable that you take data of last 5 years.
Okay.
Okay, at least last 5 years.
I can take last 7 years also, right?
Yes, you can take last 7 years also. Longer the better, but if it is too much long, then the chart may not be that clear. And now we are in April, so we are in the last year. This is 2012. Okay, of course that is the data point we are referring to. I think we have some data for 2013 as well. Can you see in 2012 there are only 52 weeks?
52 weeks.
Yes, so it doesn't always happen. Okay, only a day increases, may not be the week.
Week.
Okay, okay, so this is how we got it. Okay, now how do you calculate forward weekly EPS? We will say equal to, okay, before we do that, what we will do is we'll just freeze these panes over here. Okay, so we'll go to view, and I think it should be under Windows. Yes, freeze panes.
Freeze.
Okay, so we are just freezing the panes. Okay, and now we are saying equal to, under Windows system it is under view, freezing of panes is under view, under Windows. Okay, so we'll say equal to, and then for weekly EPS we'll say FY5. Okay, I will just freeze this, right?
Yes.
Plus I will say in bracket this freeze minus this freeze, bracket complete, into week index by 52, right? So this becomes my forward EPS. I will just format it. I will drag it down till the first year end. I am referring to financial year.
Yes.
Okay, now after this year changes. When the year changes, the references that you are given to the EPS should also move ahead. Okay, so I drag it down. Okay, and after dragging it down, all that I need to do is, or I can simply begin fresh. Okay, so what I will do is I will say now I am into 5 6,
5, 6.
so I will require a reference of 6 and 7, right? So I will say equal to, I will say 6, I will say freeze, plus in bracket 7 freeze minus 6 freeze, bracket complete, into index by 52. Simple. And you will see that number has gone up. Okay,
Yes.
now here we have kept up to 2 decimal points, but if you observe closely at the year end, your this number is exactly equal to 1 year forward EPS of 15.2,
Yes.
and that is what you have to keep as your checkpoint. Okay, and now you drag it down. Okay, so this is the one of the ways. The other simpler approach is, once you have understood what is behind what you are doing, you are just dragging it down, so you will see a fall. Okay, so you just press F2 and just drag these references
References.
to the next year. Okay, and hit enter,
Yes.
and you just go ahead till the end of the year. Okay, now again this process has to be repeated till the bottom of the, yes, bottom of the data point. Okay, again I am just dragging it down, F2. All that I will do is
So,
pull it ahead, drag it ahead. Okay, please remember there are three links that you have given. Most of the time people forget to
third
pull the
one.
third one,
Yes.
right, and then they will get wrong data points. Okay, now the moment you are entering into 2008, you need to remember that apart from you dragging this to next links, there is one more care you have to take. What is that? You have to change this 52 to by 53. Okay, and again drag it down till the end of the year. Okay, let us observe whether we are going on the right track. So it is 29.6 here, and also it is 29.6 here. So we are going on, so we are at the end of 8, and we have exactly EPS of 1 year down the line.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
now let us go ahead. It is a little longer process, but once you understood it, it is not very difficult. It just occupies your time, that is for sure. Again from 53 to 52. So now these are small points, but you need to keep in mind, otherwise there are some wrong numbers or wrong pictures that you will get once you plot the chart. Right, so let us go for next year. And you have to keep in mind another thing, that when you have taken adjusted stock prices, you also have taken adjusted diluted EPS, because in 2006 and 2009 bonus happened, number of shares have doubled here and here. Okay, so this EPS, whatever you got between 8, 7 and 6, you have to divide by 2, and EPS for 6, 5 and earlier years you have to divide by 4.
4.
EPS, because your number of shares have doubled,
Double. Correct.
and doubled twice, right? You getting my point?
Yes.
Right, so it is not so obvious fact, but that has to be kept in mind. Okay, so again 46.27, right? So let me just drag it ahead, and you'll observe after 12 we have forecasted data. Okay, so if you have not forecasted data already, you can use some rough numbers that you think the EPS will grow at, and when you actually forecasted your numbers, then you can use the actual forecast of your numbers. Okay, that's why we have explicitly written over there that they are estimates by an E symbol at the end of each of the years, right? So this is 55. I think we have made some mistake. 55.5. No, I think we are right. Okay, we are correct. Okay, so now here again I need to drag it. Okay, and once again drag it down, and here we will drag it for, okay, even if we are in 2012, you would have observed that there were only 52 weeks. Okay, that's why we did not change the denominator of week index. Yeah, I think we can just double click over here, because this is the last batch. Okay, done. So this is the weekly 1 year weekly forward EPS. Okay, now we will calculate the PE multiple, which is on weekly basis. This divided by PE multiple. Okay, so we'll just adjust the, right.
Yes.
Double click this. After having calculated 1 year forward weekly P multiple, okay, what we will do is we will look at what was the minimum P multiple, and you will find that it is 6.53, and what was the maximum P multiple, and you will see 26.65. So based on that we can define a range that the stock has traded somewhere between 7 to 27, okay, and that is what we take as the end points of the P band chart that we are defining, okay, and in between I am just taking any random selection as 12, 17, 22, it increasing by 5 points, okay, depending on your comfort level you can have taken some other differences, your bands will increase, nothing will be different, okay. As a representation on chart I am just connecting it with another representation as 7 times, okay, and now all that we'll do is calculate the stock price once again based on these multiples. So what it assumes is that if the stock had traded at 7 times its 1 year forward EPS, what would have been its stock price. So essentially P band charts are also prices, but because that is the single band in which we are assuming it would have traded, that's why we call them as bands. Okay, so if you actually observe, then there are certain uniform charts and then there is actual price, that's why it looks like band, okay, but it is actually a price, assuming that the stock will trade at 7 times, 12 times, 17 times, 22 times and 27 times throughout its lifetime, okay. So we'll use cell referencing little intelligently over here, okay. So we'll freeze column over here and here we will freeze the row, okay, and okay, I will just take the full numbers, okay, and now I'll just double click at this, okay. Now the entire band charts with stock prices is ready. All that you have to do is you have to do the selection of prices and the bands together. So how do you do it? We say command shift or control shift right arrow and command shift or control shift down arrow, okay. So this selects the band. Now here, keeping the control key pressed, okay, we will click on the bottom of adjusted stock price, and again keeping the control key and shift key pressed, we will use the upper arrow key to include the adjusted stock price as well, okay. After having done this selection, simply we plot the band chart, okay, and you will see the band charts are already there, right. So this is how basically the band charts are plotted, and you will see the bands are really uniform and the price is really wavering, okay. And then you can do a lot of other adjustments, like you can remove grid lines and then color these each one of them separately as you wish, okay. Like there are a lot of things that you can do after this, okay. So by going in the format series and looking at lines and line colors, there are a lot of options, okay. But and of course these should be dates, okay. So you can do date selection by going to select data, and what will come in y-axis and what will come under x-axis labels, okay. So you can simply select those things, okay. Right, and you will see your chart has been modified with dates on the x-axis. You getting the point? So this is how we go with the process of plotting P band charts.